Okay, just setting up again. Last time I didn't have the audio on, this time, or a second ago, I just tried turning it on. And it was a bit weird, it was broken. But I shall just be putting it on the ArtStation as usual. So let's just make sure everything's working. Okay, definitely live. But I can't. I'm trying out some new bitrate settings, or I looked at the RTX streaming settings, and apparently they're a bit different. So it ran me through some of that stuff. So I'm not sure what the, I'm not sure if that's made a difference or not. Perhaps. Let's see this. And yeah, let's try and find my link. Messing around with my settings. Okay, finding a post to put it onto ArtStation. Just going to try and find my image that I usually post. There it is. It's on my desktop, isn't it? That's what we've got here. Desktop. No, it wasn't on my desktop. It was in Substance. I randomly made it while I was doing my first stream. Yes. Okay. Just get that uploaded. Coming on the wrong order, so okay. So as I say, the mic is in a new position. So if anyone's arrived super early and the mic sounds different, just tell me if the mic sounds good or bad. I don't think anyone's watching. I'm not on the stream at the moment. Okay. That's cool, I think that's done. Nice. So I'm going to be doing a crystal material actually, because these are the references that I collected very early on. Oh, we're getting a bit of lag as well. It's maxing out my card, maybe too much. And I want to create something a little bit like that. It's going to be like a clear coat surface, and I've got quite a few references here. I might just pretty much create all of them. Because some of them are easier than others, but my main one to create would actually be this. So I'm going to want some sort of solid section. Well, I'm going to want to be able to input a gradient that can flip between a few different types of crystal that can just, and then maybe I can just paint that in Painter, really have that work if I can make it pretty cheap. But the main bit is this. It's got this sort of very slight cracking. And actually that feeds into my scene here, which is in at the moment. creating this board, and I'm just going to type in the chat. And then in Unreal, which I'm wondering whether will still lag on the screen or not. Perhaps it might. It doesn't lag on my screen, but it lags in the live stream. Yeah, I think that still lags on the stream, so I won't keep that up for very long. But that's what that's looking like. So by looking, should probably just close Unreal for a bit, speed up my stream a little. Not going to be looking inside it. Yeah, I think these new RTX settings I just put on, probably not meant to be used with RTX games for some reason or something like that, I don't know. I mean, Unreal, I've got a lot of ray tracing, and now it's telling me that my stream health is very low, so I'm not going to need this either, so I'll close that. We're just going to be in Substance Designer. Yeah, I'm just in Substance Designer. I'm just going to check this, and if anyone sees anything seriously wrong with this, because like I don't know what some of this stuff is. But yeah. Okay, well it seems like the stream's back. Still says my health is low. But okay, I'm going to start with the crystals. So crystal with my own PBR template, which I didn't fully create, so let me just change that to UE4, this to UE4, and this. So that's all the setup that I need to do, hopefully. And I'm mostly just doing flat surfaces. Everything other than the everything other than the actual, say if you're looking at this reference specifically, it's still all a flat surface, because I'm going to be that's all going to be modeled detail. So pretty much focused on only creating like a crystal type surface, and that should make things a little bit easier. Just looking around. But yeah, I think I'll keep that one up on my other screen, and we'll get started on that. Just check that my link's working and such. Okay, we're cool. So I think the sort of best place to start, height-wise, there's not going to be much. It's going to be very smooth, but in some areas where it might not be so smooth, I'll just get a few really light noises. Just make them really well. I'm making this to be a clear coat, I think, so hopefully that will create some cool effects. So some of it's going to be but it's not going to be in the height. So I'm just thinking about how that's going to work. But just creating an even mix of those to start off with. I mean, this is like the really small detail. It's just like, I'm just looking at the reference, and that bottom section's just got sort of a very noisy look to it, so I'm just going to create that. And then after that, quite a lot of these different like splodge looking bits, so I'm going to go with, that's pretty cool. I want it to be stretched, so I'm just going to make it tile and change all this sort of stuff. I don't want rotation variation, I just want it to be stretched. And then non-uniform warp by something. Width up a lot. Let's try rotation variation. No. Luminosity variation. And I might as well just start off with some cracks, or not cracks, but like an overall pattern, which I think I'll create. Let's see, like with some of them, you got sort of it does flow into itself, but there's some that are just some of this sort of stands out. So that's that middle bit. So bottom bit, that's the sort of splodgy stuff that I just did, and then got some of this noise information above it, which I'll do. Random, mask random, color random, distance, and histogram. Just infinite amount. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So I have just started, which is probably the most boring bit, but edge detect on that. I don't mind some of these being slightly rounder, I think. But I want the sort of, but I do want to probably like, but then I want to distance this again, maybe. Or bevel. Because if I auto levels that. Then where the cracks are most rounded, you've got that sort of inwards bit, which I will then, well, what I would like to do is just get that information so that when so I can just put that on top. I think that would be pretty cool for the height. So it's like it's all been smoothed off, but some of it's still there. So just levels this while it looks like that, so that I know what I'm looking at. Kind of want them to be warped outwards, so I'm not sure if I can just auto levels that. Use that as like a warp for this, or earlier on. Creating way too much noise. So I'm blowing it again because crunching it up from auto leveling it has made it too noisy. Although, see, it's still too noisy, so the edge of text is just going to mess up. Well, actually that's maybe not that bad. Since it's created different distances, I'm going to get a lot more. I'm going to get more of that, which might be alright. I thought it was just going to completely mess up, but apparently not. So let's see. Yeah, maybe I want a different warp though. Like a. Let's try one of these. It might last it. It might be a little bit better. Yeah, we want multi-directional. I think. Squash them up a little bit. Squashing them. So again, I hope the stream quality is good. I've changed some settings which apparently make it so that I can't stream on Unreal, although that did always stutter anyway. I don't know why any of that is. The mic's in a new place. And yeah, I think that's everything I've changed. So if you can't hear me as well, something like that, then that would be why. Alright. So that's all more or less the same. And as I say, it's weird because I'm creating this for a subsurface, so I'm not sure that I can do clear coat, or not subsurface, but clear coat. I'm not sure that this is something that is supported in here. So I don't think I can do a clear coat in Substance. I can do it in Substance Painter, I think, but not in Substance Designer, to my knowledge, right now. So, okay. So some of these are going to be on the surface. I think I just want to blend it with the Perlin noise from earlier. Let's get it. Levels that. So, just to make, I'm going to try and make things cheaper. So instead of doing that, if I lower that, that should blur it. When it gets brought back up for this. So, should be good. Should be working in. If I change this to 4K now, I bet it's gonna detect a lot more edges. It's alright actually. Okay, so just kind of multiply that over it. Favorite trick. Do it with that one. So hopefully some areas just get a little bit more messed up. And something that I did with my other with another material. Now if I random seed this and I don't know, I kind of want, so if I random seed that, I'm just going to blend them both with the same multiply them by transformation of this. Just completely random. Then maybe I'll, or even just a third one. So it's pretty random on the reference. It's like tons of like these little wires, little, not cracks, but little marble-ish looking things going through it. There's like, you just get a ton of this stuff, so when it's all warped later on, I'm imagining it's going to look pretty alright, hopefully. I just increase the octave on that, see what happens. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I'm still going to combine it with the same one. Just turn the precision up. All the way it works actually. Some sharp edges, but I think they'll just get lost. I don't think anyone's going to notice. And I'll just transformation that. actually what I should have done. So I'm going to blend, max them. It's just going all around each other. I think that shape's too obvious. That one. So I'm going to do again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. You know, like, it's not going to be everywhere like it is now, so I think I can get away with it. So now it's all crazy. Okay, so this is the one that's actually got the cracks. This is just like an inside layer thing under the surface, which I could get. So it's just too crazy everywhere, so maybe some of them can be combined with less so like that. And maybe that. Let's slope blur this one. I'll possibly try other things, but I'll try slope blur via like another purling noise, because I've used that one too much. Let's do a slope blur, see what happens. It's not the effect that I was thinking about. Let's try the new warp and all that. Yeah, it was one of these that I'm thinking about. So if I warp it by like something like this, it starts creating different things. Like a streak behind it is what I want. So it's one of these. Okay, so that's multi-directional. a solid colour. That doesn't work. Have I got anything more subtle? Okay, that's a little bit along the lines that I want, but I'll do it on the main one. And I'll blend it back in. So I'm not going to do it on that. Well, actually, maybe I should. Yeah, do it on the main one for sure. But I want to blend it with its original. So it's getting confusing now. So that's my main crack stuff. This is my original. So these eventually are just going to be subtracted. So like in the height here, let's take it. Oh, okay, metalness came in for some reason. I don't know why I just changed. Oops, yeah. That's better. And I invert them so I can see better, but it's going to be subtracted from our height, which is just going to be 0.5 for now. So that's subtracted. Let's try histogram on it. So it's not been blended with any of the noises yet. But anyway, yeah, so it's going to be like a surface. That's going to be on the surface, cracking. Which is true. I don't want it to have that. I don't want it to have that detail in it, so I should probably be taking this one instead. Okay, blending them back in together. Via something random like that, so now that it's I like that one. That's what I'm warping it by. Okay, I need more space. Cracks. Warp, base cracks. My main warping thing that I'm using. Height. That's up there with them. That's up there. And this is going wrong because it needs to be more leveled, I guess. Oh no, it's because it's warped. So I need to warp it. But without the trail. So now some of that trail's coming in, but not everywhere. But that's just for the base colour. Because a lot of this doesn't actually appear in the height. Well, maybe it could. It's in the normal because the light still hits it. So it's going to be tricky to try and simulate. But then so this is actually in my head. When you look at something like this, the light still hits it from the side. So this would just need a little blend of noise on it. Because when it comes to the normal, it's actually there. So when the light, so I just want when the light does shine across, it's just, you can see it, but again I'm doing a clear coat, so just change the environment to something. Actually, see. Yeah, whatever. It's good enough. So this one's really gonna, it's really quite unique because it's gonna not come together until the colour, I guess. Because I can't, so I'm just creating all the components that are going to be put together inside Unreal for the shader, rather than what you would normally do. And I think I'm going to hit that with some of this as well. Let's copy that, put this through it twice. It's kind of like that. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to combine them together just like I did with this one. I can always transform it afterwards. So now it's not all wavy. So I do kind of wish it was more solid. So I'm just gonna so I'm going to have to bring that mask precision all the way up so that it's just solid. And then hopefully those, once it's warped, that straight line is just going to get so all those cuts by the time we get to doing this, it's less noticeable. Like, it's so crazy and random that I don't think you notice it. Okay, so we've got two layers of that stuff. This one's on the surface, but physically all it is, well, it's got to be a lot tighter than that, so surface one is over here. Let's cut off. actual height, I just want it to be around those things. So I'm going to blur that and levels it. Oh god. There's quite a lot going on there. It's pretty much just auto levelsing it. I'm going to blur it. Oh, I'll just low res it. And basically it's going to be this is a base, and then it's blending in the other one, which is going to be an add via that one, this one. Okay, that's too crazy. Also got to warp that. I mean max. It's weird that that's so this one doesn't really work. So I'm just going to random seed the actual cracks. Okay, that's not how it should look. Guess I didn't really turn the intensity on that. Put it to like a solid number, just 6. I think that is almost the kind of effect I want, just looking at it like that, but yeah, that's it. But all of this is a bit weird because it's double edged, so that's really warped. So I want more of these little ones rather than these really big ones. So I just need to figure out what's causing the really big ones. Yeah, that might help. And then I don't have to levels that so much. And that's changed the dynamic quite a lot, so that's changed. This has changed, so I'm just going to crank that up. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to replace that with auto levels, so it's always at the top. And that's too many. So maybe that's a random seed thing. Some of them are too crazy. For this, it's too warped. I need the warping for the trail. I do like some of these, but then there's ones that are just not how I imagine them. Just plug it in. So that's going to be a new. There. Not sure what that was. Okay, well these are messing it up. I think I'll reserve the warping until later on. It's better. Way more detail than that. It's picking up really tiny. Should only be the tops. bit of bevel rather than that, and maybe I can just smooth it off there. So bevel. It doesn't auto detect is the annoying thing. So the distance. So I can do a little bit of smoothing on that. Just a tiny amount. And maybe that'll be a little bit better. Okay, little surface stuff. I have a feeling this is not going to be the best material because it's very tricky, or at least from designer it's just not going to look anything like it should. But then once all the stuff's in Unreal with the shader, it hopefully would look a little bit better. But I think right now you can sort of tell where it's going. Got these little bits on the surface. You can definitely get some of that underneath it. And then just below, so layer wise, just below that, there would also be some of this noise. Well, some of that stuff goes above it, but that's also a bit too it's too much of that. Yeah, I could do it. Let's try a few more random seeds. Yeah, just the first one's good. What else? Yeah, it's a lot of clouds, very cloudy. There, all that stuff that I've been doing right there. This one's got some proper cracks in it, so I might have a look at doing some proper cracks and some directional stuff, which maybe I'll do. This one's definitely got a lot of those cracks, but they're a lot less warped. Maybe I just want these top ones to be not warped really. Well, no, I still want that effect. If I want that effect, then it has to be warped a little bit. I think. So if I want that trail to be coming out of them, it kind of wants to warp it as well. Unless I can think of another way to randomly make that trail. Big cracks in them. Just all this noise. And then this one's more smooth and smoky. That one's got more of the style, and then that's cool that it's got like this really different style on the inside. But since it's been smoothed off, it's got all these cracks going through it. All this stuff. And perhaps I just want take something like that. Modify. Edge detect and flood it. I can get some randoms going on. Random grayscale, which I'm just gonna distance as well via the original. So that closes up those gaps. Just put it really high, closes up the gaps. Just basically just creating the original thing. But it's random, it's got a different order to it. I just want to keep all these up in the same place. So I'm going to flood fill to... I'm going to try and use that mapper one actually, flood fill mapper. And I'll get like a noise like that. I'm going to try it out. So in the top goes the flood fill. Try pattern. I'm going to say rotation random. That's cool. This annoyingly there's no gap there, and then suddenly there is. Just random. Pattern distribution, that's cool. Scale, rotation, scale map. So if I get this and I put it into there, and I say, oh, that's cool. Okay, luminance range random. So I want scale to be like 2 times, so that I can scale, map, random it. That's why that was cut off. Again, distance this by the original thing. My original, distance it so that it closes up that gap, which might be a little bit more noticeable with this, but not so much. And then potentially, if that's warped, if that goes through all the same warping as this, which is quite random at the moment, I kind of don't want to warp it because I don't really like that. So if I keep that straight, which is what I want. That intensity. Maybe I'll just ignore that for this. I'll keep it not warped for that effect. So just not warp it. Because I just don't like the warping. And that's more like what I want. I mean, it doesn't have to subtract that much. Keep the shape. Curves in it, some cracks, and then all of that will have to be on, so I'll blend, this will have to be on the just on the subsurface or something like that. So let's turn the trail off and we're just going to do what we did before, combine that with something random. So there we go. So again, some of these are just going to have to go into Unreal, and they'll be used in Unreal somehow. This is pretty much what the surface is. It's got little spots on it. but it's really the surface itself is just going to be completely smooth. Although I do want a type that is going to be sort of carved, so I'm going to think of a way how to do that, which actually might not be, this node might come in handy again, because if I get a poly curve it, I invert it. I don't know if there's a better way to do this. Let's scale random on a little bit, but the scale just got to go up way high. And for some reason that just doesn't look right. In distance, I guess. Just copy that one. So I want them to all meet the same. So I guess that luminance range random should go away. This is a better way to do this. Because it's basically what I did with that hammered metal. It's basically what I was doing. But I didn't do it like this, so it's just a different way of doing it. I'm just wondering whether this way is better or if I can get the effect that I want in a slightly different way. So I want these to all be on the same level, really, but because of the way that it maps it, I don't think that works. Random off. It's cool that you can map multiple surface types. Alright, let's see what that looks like if I also blend that over it as well. Get an auto levels on that. Okay, maybe not. Just histogram range. Blend that. If the scale on that is just a little bit bigger, so I don't get any corners that cut off. Just overlay it very slightly. I think this will create a cool effect. So I can actually put that in as the base. Okay, that's the wrong effect. It's not the effect that I wanted. Put the range on that all the way up to full. And let's really just turn that off for a moment. Okay, so that's not dipping, strangely. almost what I want, but not really. It's quite a cool effect, but it's definitely not what I want, because some of them are just so much higher than the other ones. So I really want it to be leveled out. I don't mind having that on it at the end. So is there a better way to create it? Let's see what the flood fill options are. Flood fill mapper, random grayscale. Well, yeah, okay. So I could just grab that and bevel it inwards. That's what I did before, wasn't it? I think. Super smooth them. But also have to invert it. So let's just forget that. And let's forget the extra blur. Let's forget the distance. Be a cool crystal surface, but not for any of the ones in my reference. It's just one that I was thinking about, that I thought would be cool. Reference wise, I just need an extra noise, so if I'm looking at this one specifically, now I just need got sort of that detail is what I wanted. Some of this maybe. I just now need just some random noise. So I've got this noise down here. Wait, not that one. I've got like a uniform noise that I can combine. So now I just need some non-uniform noises. Like the spottiness of that one. Also might just get some like me just bypass that. Just get something a little bit like that. Spotty, blend those together some kind of random way. Well, that one's might be more interesting. I'll have both. Why not? So I'll have like a I'm going to have quite a few texture samples in this thing for the shader. So I think, yeah, most of this is going to be combined in the shader. Colours are just going to be lurked in Unreal, I guess. It's kind of what I've slowly realised as I'm creating it. A lot of it's just going to have to be, I mean, that's the surface is just whatever any of this is, so it's like you could have one that's got some of that going on, but really there's not much going on the surface, so it's all going on the inside of it. I just do need some more clouds, so that originally was maybe clouds, so I'm going to blend that with one of these because it's a little bit more interesting. And I'm just going to create some different types. So I don't need any of these outputs. Well, I do still want to create some normals and stuff. But as far as, because it's all going to be done in the shader, I'm going to just have well, not a lot going on there. So that clouds, I'll make a more blurred one. Clouds. Want that, but I want to warp it by something a little bit like this. Or more crazy than that. Just a very large purling noise. Let's warp it. Kind of cool. That's cool. I'm getting into the more crazy part of this now. I'm just creating whatever. I'm just gonna, in Unreal, I'm just gonna test them all out and be like, decide which one looks best. I've got a more smoky version of that, and then I'll be blending it together because I'm going to need some purling noises and stuff. So that should be good. Let's line these up properly then. They're all just going to be random outputs. Material. That. So I'm going to create more variations of that because that'll be just a different variation. Maybe one with an extra octave. Something like that. Cool. Okay, so I wish I could do the shade a bit, but I think, well, I wish I could do it on stream, but I'm pretty sure it does not work, so Unreal will break. Because of the settings that I changed on OBS, I think this will break. Because I set it up to be RTX accelerated, so it's going to be accelerated by the graphics card, and then Unreal's also being accelerated by the graphics card. So maybe I'll have to use the GeForce experience next time. I'll try recording with that and just upload a video separately, maybe. So yeah, I think that's a lot of why. This stuff's cool. So I think I'll be able to create most of what I want. That's it from me. Not a very, not the result just can't be seen, but it is just messing around in Designer. I've got all these patterns, and I guess in the final video or in the future you'll see the final result. Of what of what this turns into, having all these noises. I think it's going to work, probably come back, but not much I can do on stream right now, so thank you everyone that came by, and I'll see you in the next one.